Peace family, how you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency. I know I messed up yesterday. I kind of caught myself, but not really, but it was already too late by the time I caught myself. Again, it's consistency is currency, not consistency is key. Consistency is and can be the key to your productivity if you understand the nature of it. And currency, of course, currency could be the exchange of money, but also currency, I'm looking at it as the exchange of energy, the current electronic energy, but also you have digital currency. If some of y'all paid more attention to the how current you are in your lives, or how current you are with your goals, your visions, and your task, just like you've been paying attention to the digital currency of cryptocurrency, then you might get more done. I'm just saying. It was very good for you to invest into it, but I want you to look at and pay attention to the investments that you need to make inside of yourself, and I guarantee you have an uptick that will increase the productivity and what you want to do and how you've been doing it in the past. Invest in yourself and invest in your future, and I guarantee you could have your own Shiba coin inside of your life, because you will pour more into you, then the outcome will be a whole lot greater than what it is right now. That's consistency is currency. All right, peace. I want to thank you guys for being here. Again, as you're watching right now, just go ahead and drop an emoji. Give me a good morning. Give me something, because remember what this does, it upsets the algorithm and resets the algorithm to allow this live right now to go a lot further than where it's going right now on your timeline, because there may be someone who may need to hear about what we're talking about. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the power of perspective. The power of perspectives. And as you already know, every time we get on there and whatever subject that we're talking about, we're going to go into the definition of it, and then we're going to break down the definition of the definition in order for us to see it from so many different angles and so many different perspectives. So let's go into it right now. So the definition of perspectives is, of course, the noun, the number one definition says the art of drawing solid objects on two-dimensional surfaces as far as to give the right person the impression of their height, weight, depth, position, relation to each other, or viewed from a particular point. And it says a perspective drawing. That means that's how something that already exists. And the noun number two says a particular attitude. This is where I want you to pay attention to. If you've never looked at the word perspective this way, I want you to look at the word perspective from a personal point of view. So let's chew on this one. A particular attitude towards or way of regarding something, a point of view. It's a particular attitude towards something. What have your attitude been like towards something? If your attitude don't change right now, your 2022 is going to look the same as it did right now. Because remember, your perspective is the attitude towards something. What's your attitude towards your goals? What's your attitude towards your vision? What's your attitude towards your loved ones? What's your attitude towards your job? What's the attitude towards your children? Change your attitude, because if you don't change your nasty attitude, you will not change your nasty ways, and it will always be the same way, because the outcome is always going to be the same. Because remember, the second part of the definition, it says a way of regarding something. How do you regard it? Because remember, regarding means it already exists. That means it's already present. Your attitude is already present. And then it goes to a point of view. So in order for you to have a point of view, that means that must have a viewpoint. That means your attitude. What's your constant, or what's your attitude right now? What is your present attitude towards it? Are you grateful for what you have, or are you disgruntled for what you have right now? And that may be a hard question for some of you, but I want you to look at it from a real and an honest perspective. Are you grateful for what you have, or are you disgruntled for what you have right now? Look at it and examine it. Because there's a lot of people that I know that are not grateful for what they have, but they may be disgusted on why they see other people having certain things because they're not looking at it for what they personally and presently have. What is your point of view for it? From your perspective, from how you see it. And it may be your attitude. It may be your attitude. So let's go ahead and break this definition down even more. So now we're going into perception. So the definition of perception is, it says the ability to see. Because remember, perspective is a particular attitude toward or a way of regarding something, a point of view. It's a point of view, but the perception is the ability to see. Is to see, hear, or become aware of something through the sense, the state of being or process of becoming aware of something through the senses. What are you saying about the perception and the perspectives? Your attitude towards the perspectives is going to allow you to miss what you are supposed to see. Now, that may be a hard pill to swallow. Your attitude on your perspectives of what you see may hinder you from seeing or having the ability to see ultimately what you are supposed to see. You can't talk about what you want for 2022 if you don't have the proper attitude in 2021, or change and alter that attitude in 2021, because you will not have the ability to see anything different for yourself in 2022. Because again, remember the definition, it says the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the sense. That means you have to be able to touch it. If your attitude, everything that it touches, if your attitude just totally destroys and wrecks shop on everything that it touches, that means the senses are off. If your attitude destroys everything that it tastes, that means everything leaves a bad taste in everybody else's mouth because of your attitude. Again, it will prevent you from having the ability to see. It will prevent you from having the ability to see your future. It will prevent you from having the ability to see when you're even wrong, because the perception won't ever happen until you change your perspectives. How can you have a perspective of having a great relationship when you can't even open your mouth to say, you know what? I was wrong. I know that there was something that probably could have done better, but you have to see it. Because again, it's in regarding. That means in regarding means that it already exists. You have to have the ability to open your mouth and to say something different if you want the perception of your relationship to change. Having the ability to see. I must have the ability to see a better relationship, so I must change my perspectives. I must change my perspectives on what my responsibilities are. You must change your perspectives on what your relationship is with your children. You must change your perspective on what your relationship is on the job in order for you to change the perception of what it is you want to be. I want to be a boss. People want to say that stuff, but they don't change the perspective of what a boss life is. Are you ready to stay up long nights? Are you ready to write the vision and make it plain? Are you ready to do the market research that is going to allow you to even become the status of a boss, even become the status of an employer? Again, there's nothing wrong with an employee, but you got to still learn those lessons that can transition you to become that leader that you ultimately can be. But you have to change your perception and your perspectives. I'll guarantee you the change of your attitude will definitely change on you having the ability to see where you're going. Write down attitude. Put it in the comment section. Attitude. Attitude. Like some people have said, your attitude, the change of your attitude can actually change your aptitude as well as change your altitude. Change the way you feel about education. It can also change the way the trajectory of where you're going to go, the altitude, how high you're going to go, how high you're going to get. You don't have to go to a regular institution. You can go online and learn and teach yourself something, or be taught by someone else. Having the ability to see, say, and or do can ultimately alter the perception of how you see things. Man, perspectives and perception. And let's go back to the second definition. Again, the state of being or process of becoming aware of something through the senses. What's your perception of pain? I mean, we can all look at pain from all different angles. They say, some people have said pain is just, it leaves the body. Or for those who work out, the pain of your sore muscles and things like that. The muscles are really resetting itself. It's repairing itself. So the pain of the muscles repairing itself can actually transition into you having larger pectorals, you having larger biceps and triceps. Your leg begins to take the particular shape that you want, or your stomach begins to take that shape that you want. But you're going to have to go through that pain in order for you to see the perception of what it's going to be, because you now have the ability to see because the pain you just went through. So the third definition is a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, a mental impression. What is your mental impression of yourself? Again, if you have a attitude, what is your mental perception of yourself? Are you strong? Put strong in a comment. Just put strong in the comment. I want you to have that affirmation for yourself. My mental ability should not be determined by your perception of me. It will not be determined by your perception of me. My mental abilities as well as my mental capabilities are perceived by who I see myself to be, of the who that I am, not the who that you think I am, but the who that I am. And you need to see it that way too. You will have the ability to see where you're going when you understand and you possess the perspectives of your right now. The perspectives of your right now will develop what the future you is going to be. The perspectives of your right now will and can alter your next level. It can alter the senses. It can leave a great taste in other people's mouths when you step into the room and you leave. Everyone have the ability to say great things about you, not you having a bad attitude and you alter the senses of everyone that's in the room, leaving a bad taste in other people's mouth because you walked in the room with a nasty attitude. You walked in the room leaving a bad taste on people's mouth when you walked out of the room. You're going to have to take that accountability measure to understand that, you know what, it was probably my attitude. You know what, it was probably my content. You know what, it was probably my delivery. So I need to change that in order for me to change the trajectory of the perception of how everybody see me. Because there may be some truth. Only you can answer what that truth may and possibly will be. So let's look at it, family. Let's look at the perception and the perspectives. Change your attitude and your perspective could ultimately change and alter your perceptions, having and giving you the ability to see where you want to go and to see where you want to be. And then after you understand that, I want you to go ahead and be consistent at it. I want you to keep doing it. I want you to see it every time it approaches you. I want you to identify it every time it approaches you. You talk about red flags and you're looking at red flags and everything else in your relationship and red flags and everything else on business. But what about the red flags that you should see within yourself? Your attitude is a red flag. Other people may see it as a red flag, but you must have the ability to see that red flag within yourself. Be like, you know what? When I feel this way, I act this way. When I act this way, the outcome will always be this way. Change the perception and it will change the perspectives. Change the perspectives and it will alter the perception. It will allow you and give you the ability to see the better part of you. Consistency is key. Make sure you download this podcast. Hey, I want y'all to be blessed. And remember, tomorrow will always be another day for you to be successful. Tomorrow will always be another day for you to be blessed. And I speak life into you and your situation.